Alright, welcome to my channel. This is Lockchuck. What I'm working on today is this Abloy Disklock mortise cylinder. So this one's a little different. First time I've picked one, I believe that can be turned in either direction. So because this is for a deadbolt, so it has a little bit different configuration. It has a couple special discs in here, and I'll show those more at the end. So these are for the return system. So these are the last disc and the fourth disc are part of the disc return, and these are the return bars. These help center the disc back up since this turns in both directions. These aren't, instead of having the little tabs like a normal other disc locks, this has that slot cut in it, and these bars, depending on which direction it turns, helps realign the discs for the key to be inserted. So there has to be some type of system for that, and it's done by this last disc and this disc plus the two grooves for the return bars in the housing itself. And also the sidebar is spring loaded, pushing it up, so that way, because in your other locks a lot of times the discs returning in one direction push the sidebar back up. However, here, since this can go in either direction, it needs a little help getting that sidebar pushed back out so the discs can recenter. So that's why this is spring loaded. I did have to make a new tip. So this is a tip for this lock. So it is shaped kind of almost like the butterfly from the Abloy. So the tensioner and the picking tip had to have that hourglass shape, if you will. So this is 1.5 ejector by, I believe it's a 6 head, and ground it down to about just over 3 millimeters thick. 3.4 is about as large as you can go, because that's the width of the key. And then you kind of grind that profile in to kind of match the key, which, so that way, because you've got these profiles here that you have to clear, and that is dictated by this profile spinner at the front. So this one is a free spinning, so that's, you have to clear that, and that's why you have to have that butterfly, or not butterfly, but hourglass shape, is to get through that profile. There aren't any profile discs once you get in. They're all pretty much the rectangle, I guess you could say, or oval shape. So no special profile once you get past that is needed at the back of the lock. Alright, so well, we'll get this back together, get it in the vise, and show you the picking. Oh, I guess I'll show you the key here. Make sure I'm in the frame. So if you kind of look, the bitting has to kind of somewhat mirror itself a little bit. So except for this disc doesn't really mirror, but that is for the fourth disc. That's for the return bars. So it is zeroed in both directions to help turn that, same as the tip, to help turn the return bars back out so they can center all your discs. But anyway, all right, we'll get this put back together and show you the picking. All right, so I kept talking about the return bars, but I didn't really show you how they work. So right now they're in this, the key is centered, the sidebar wouldn't be lined up, so this is in a locked position. So as the key gets inserted and turns, you'll see one of those return bars getting pushed to the other. So when it does that and it's pushed all the way and the discs are lined up, you can see that all of the gates are lined, This would allow the key to turn and to turn the core, and you'd be able to turn it. But once you got it ready to take the key out, you would need to start rotate the opposite direction. That return bar is pulled back, which centers the disc. That's what that fourth disc and the last disc are doing. They're controlling those return bars. So that's why you don't need to be rotating those while you're picking, because it will move the other discs. So, and the same goes if you turn it the other direction. You can see that return bar gets pressed against it. All the gates are lined. This would allow the disc the sidebar to retract, and then you could turn the lock. And as you got ready to take the key out, you would start turning it the opposite direction again. The return bar would push all the discs back, and then the key, once it was centered, all the discs were centered, the key could come out. So I figured I'd show that real quick so maybe you understand if you've never seen the return bars in action. All right, so I do have the lock already locked up in the vise. As you can see, the tailpiece is spinning. I'll turn it over, get the key out, and now just turn it clockwise so it won't turn now. So just lock back up. Just like all the other ones, or most of the majority, I turn it clockwise to get started. Put my tensioner in, go all the way to the back. Then I'm going to take my pick and go all the way to the back. It's easier sometimes to reference off that back disc instead of trying to come into disc one. So I'm turning clockwise just to make sure I'm free, and I'm also applying tension clockwise. And I'm going to slowly move my tip out until it stops. So I'm on the first disc. Let's see what we got here. Little binding, and click there. Get up on my tension, make sure. Okay, got pretty good movement in that gate, so I'm gonna try that gate. Oops. Alright. Well, I think I went back to my disc. Yep, I do. So I can feel it rubbing. I can get that one back in the. Alright, so it's all the way back. So these gates or discs are so close, it is really hard to get on, tell which one you're on sometimes. So that one's free, then it's binding, and it's binding for like 2 false gates. So that one's probably at 0. We'll go back, drop in between so I can make sure I find the gate. There it is. That one's free, and then it binds and a couple of like false gates. Make sure I'm all the way back. So there you go. And drop off, so I can find the next gate right there, or excuse me, next disc. Alright, so it feels a little binding, then a click and another click, and that second one I feel like it. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I fell off the disc. So there. That one feels good. Okay. So I found the next disc. All right. Little click, still binding. Click and it frees up. So we'll try that one. All right. Binding. Little click and I think I slipped off. Yep. And all right, got another click and it freed up. So we'll leave that. All right, so this one's binding in both directions. So this should be disc 4, which is connected to the return bars. So I'm gonna leave it alone. It should be already fully clockwise anyway. That's where it needs to be. Okay, find the next disc. All right. Let's see. There we go. That's pretty good. A little bit there. Let's try that. All right. Okay. All right. And there we go. We are open, as you can see there. All right, so to lock this back up, just turn counterclockwise. And there we go. Get my pick out. And let's get this picked. Or it's not picked, get it. I already got it picked. It's late. So, to get this, there's a little brass ring that we're going to turn counterclockwise. Hopefully, yep, there it goes. Starts to come out. All right. Put that there. There should be another brass washer. Right there. My tweezers. All right. So I'm going to use the key as a follower or pusher just to push this cylinder out. Okay. There, everything's out of the housing. All right. This top plate has springs and two little itty bitty ball bearings that I do not want to lose. Okay, there is the sidebar. And its little spring. I don't know what that's called, but keeps it straight. I'm not sure if that's spring loaded or not down there, so I'll have to keep an eye out on that. So the first spacer, I believe, I guess that could be is that a disc? No, that is a disc. Okay. So that is, I believe, disc 1. Or no, I'm sorry. That is a spacer. There's disc 1. See, I'm not good at this. So there's true gate, 2 false gates, and a true gate. So this should be pretty well, I guess, uniform because it's not mastered. Well, that one's not mastered because it has to have a gate in both directions. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these return bars out, maybe. Alright, so there's one return bar. Here's the second, maybe. Second return bar. Alright. So go ahead and take the rest of these out. Spacer. Oh. So there's another one, as you can see. There's false gates. False gates here, here, and here, and then the true gates, depending on which direction it's being turned. So I guess technically it picks a little different in each direction because the gates are kind of, I guess it would be maybe 90 degrees off from the other one. Yeah, no, it kind of looks 90 degrees, yeah, maybe 90 degrees. There's the next disc. So 1, 2, 3. The next one should be part of the return bar system. So as you can see, that's the steel one, but it is the gates are here. for it, so it is turned all the way 90 degrees every time, and then those two slots are for the return bar. Another, so true gates and two false gates. Spacer. Alright. This one, again, true, two false, true, and then false gate on that side. Alright, so that one only has one gate, so that means it is turned same direction. Oh, so I'm wondering, I bet that's those zero cuts, because that disc shouldn't move. If it gets moved, it takes it out of the gate, so that's what it is. So if that one gets moved, either one of those, there should be another one, should be the last disc, should be identical to that one. So there's that disc, spacer. Should be, let me put these up here. Spacer, and this one should be like that one, and yep, one gate, and then so that's everything out of there. This is probably just a well, no, that's the I'll put a couple of these together, so that way, that there. So that is probably identical to that one, and that's for the return bars. So in the housing's got the two slots for the return bars there and there. And I wonder if that is just spring loaded. Okay, that helps push the, I believe that just helps push the sidebar out. So since it's turning in both directions, it needs something to help push the sidebar back out when you get back to center. So okay, well, if you stayed with me for this long, thanks for watching. Leave me a comment, and any suggestions, anything you'd like to see different, or anything I can do to improve my videos, I would appreciate it. Thanks for watching.